Well, we're moving on. Okay. Well, we're starting.
With my friends here. Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead and kick off the music.
All right. Cool.
Okay.
Hold on. You guys ready for this? Let's do this.
Yeah. Get the emotions ready there.
Welcome to another terrible podcast by Comics in Isolation. I am one of your hosts, Eerie Diamond. This is my co-host, Mean Dave. Say hello, Dave.
Hello.
We are happy to see you guys here again on this nice Sunday afternoon. All right, let's. You want to introduce our guests, or you want to?
Yeah, our guest. We have a singular guest.
Yes.
Until the other one, who probably is on ketamine, shows up. So yeah, our current guest right here, lovely lady who I've had the pleasure of getting to know from first from comments. One of the people who like adds you on Facebook. You think you know. She thinks it's at 7. It starts now. Jesus Christ! I only sent how many fucking reminders? It's starting now. It starts now. Now 6 p.m. It ends at 7. Oh God, people! All right, we got this Aaron Bartz. Does anybody know this motherfucker?
Nope.
No.
Oh, Aaron?
Yeah, you know an Aaron.
That's mine. Yep.
All right, cool. All right, Aaron's joining us now. All right, good, perfect timing, so we can introduce. All right, and we know iPhone. All right, cool. So I like to make sure in case we don't know who's going to be pulling their dick out in front of the on the show if we don't recognize them. And all that. I don't know the Chad motherfucker here. That one.
You can only make the show better, Dave.
Chad could be what's his name, Luis in disguise, because Luis has been acting like a weirdo all Chad, goddamn night.
Chad's also mine.
I like it. He's weird.
Chad's okay. Chad's yours too.
Also, great dick. So if he does pull it up, no problem.
All right, cool. All right, my paranoia. I'm not paranoid at all. Then that's all good. All right. So our guest today, I've gotten to know her mainly through. She would comment a lot. Sometimes that would be like kind of a red flag, but I kind of liked her style. She also kind of picked up on my sarcasm without even really knowing me yet. And then we had some nice chats. And I could tell this lady, like, she kind of does comedy somewhat, and we got to talking about it, and I don't know, she just seems really cool. And so her and our the other guest have this in common. They do comedy they have a strange relationship with doing comedy. So I invited her to be on this wonderful show, or terrible wonderful show. And so welcome Kristin Estevane. Is that right? Am I saying it right? Kristin Estevane?
Good enough.
All right, cool.
All right.
Awesome. So what we like to do until our other guest gets here, we'll just move on. We'll have her play catch up. Oh, here she is. She's joining us right now. So let's see.
By the way, I'd like to say on the side, Melanie, you don't know what ketamine is, really? You don't. She just put in the comments she doesn't even know what ketamine is.
I don't, and I'm glad I know because it doesn't sound good.
It's actually wonderful. That gets
we can have her explain it later, but. All right, so our other
not
guest,
interested. Okay.
Thought it was 7. Now, fair enough. This is not anything bad.
No, but I did mess up the thing.
People have thought this show started at 7 before. We do confuse them with the 6 o'clock on the Sunday shit. So no harm, no foul. And I want to thank her for being able to hurry up and get right here. This is Stephanie Eden, everybody. That's her in the NASA hat. So.
Hello, everybody. Awesome to be here. Huge fan of the podcast.
They're just pretty blondes. That's what we have on.
They're not just pretty
redheads,
blonde.
pretty redheads, and pretty mean.
Here's
Dave.
the other thing. And Stephanie's relationship to comedy, I met her. There was this guy with dreadlocks who did this fucking weird. It's like LARPing, but it's like a LARPing scavenger hunt. There's a word for it. What's the word for it, Stephanie?
So it was a web series, but I think he called it geotagging. And the thing about getting cast in a web series is you never know how weird the person who cast you is until you start working on it.
Yeah. And we met through this guy, and this dude, he's a character too. He's not a bad dude.
Not a bad dude. No, not a bad dude.
Yeah, we it's funny. And I was so I met Stephanie when she and him knew each other, and she was working on the show with them and stuff. And he was the one who kept encouraging me to book her to do a comedy set at my old room in Livermore, and she did. And not only that, I think you did a couple. You did 2 sets there.
Yes, 2 sets.
One of them you were pretty hammered for. I remember that.
I do not remember the set, but apparently it went okay. Nothing fell over, nothing terrible.
Yeah. No, there's a Lucille kind of a Lucille Ball like Anna Faris quality that she had to kind of those nights.
But thank you.
Yes, and so that's what these 2 have in common. It's not that they're blonde or whatever. It's the fact that they both have dabbled in comedy. Yeah, I know, but that's yes, there's more. They're white, whatever.
No.
Easy on the eyes, all that shit. But they both have dabbled in comedy, and they're funny. They are funny people, and so I wanted to sort of give them a chance to talk with us about why they don't do it so much. So anyway, without further ado, we'll go continue on with the show. Our next segment is our chance to give you guys explain yourself. You get to tell us your life story in about 200 words or so, and also practice our
iPad and iPhone, because I'm hearing a little bit of noises in the background.
We'll just hang on a second. I'll take care of that here. We get the right. She gets it. Mute that, and we're good. All right, we're all good.
Cool.
So, our first segment is called "Listen Up," and oh man, didn't even get there. It is. Bam. So this is where we practice our listening skills, listening to our guests, with doing our best not to interrupt you, while you give us your life story up to this point in about roughly 200 words. It's just it's a loose guideline. It's not a hard, like, you don't have to hit that number or anything. So we'll start with you, Kristin. What's your life story up to this point?
Grew up in Buffalo, New York. Moved to Northern California, Sonoma County in the 90s. Super privileged life after I got adopted, so that was awesome. Rock and rolled all the way to the Air Force, did 6 years, made a baby, and I have many pets, and sometimes I'm funny. It sounds good.
Right on.
So many questions. I have questions.
We'll get to those. We will get to those. Now, Stephanie, let's have Stephanie do her interview. Stephanie, what's your life story up until this point?
Okay, great question. I was born in New Hampshire. My family's from the Bay. I moved back here when I was like 19. I'm an only child, which kind of made me a little weird. I was picked on in school a lot, kind of made me a little funny, kind of made me a little weird-er. And now I'm out here. I'm in school for public health for some reason, a terrible thing to be going to school for during a pandemic. And I like to, paint, draw, comedy. That's really about it,
Awesome. So we got both. That's another thing. Both East Coasters. Like,
yeah.
Look at all these parallels. Can you fucking believe this shit? Oh my God. And you're also engaged too. So you're about to turn into Kristin over here. So,
wow, we're kindreds. This is great. We should stay on after this Zoom call.
Make friends. Send friend requests. Now, Eerie had some follow-up questions. Eerie, go ahead.
Yes. So, so you made a human? You made a human? How old is your human person?
Oh God, it's 7 now.
Oh, it's 7. Ooh.
It's he's great.
Nice.
Great.
Nice. And then how many pets do you have? That was my other question.
3 dogs, 1 cat, and a gecko.
Ooh, geckos, nice.
Oh.
Also,
awesome.
I'm kind of lying because I have like 3 stray cats that I provide welfare to, so probably not. I'm a sap and they know it.
Now, I know this about Stephanie. No children, but she does have pets.
No. Oh, yeah. Oh, sure. We can ask her the same thing. Yeah. You got picked on in school. That's actually wasn't my question.
Oh, yeah.
Stephanie, you got picked on in school. I hear that, man. The whole time, or were you a no friend person, or did you tell me, did you get picked on the whole time, or was there a good time?
So I went to Catholic school, which is basically like hell. And if you're not Catholic, it's basically like hellier. But I mean, it was good until I had to transfer to a different Catholic school in 3rd grade, and then I didn't know anybody. And it's just, you don't just get picked on by the kids; you get really hard picked on by the teachers. And it's like, what's your deal, man? Like, I'm 10. Like, what did I do to you? Like, but
where is Nina G when we need her? Like, Nina G would be. I mean, she'd be all WAP all over this shit because she went to Catholic school and is traumatized by that experience as well.
I did too. By the way, I did too. It's
you did too?
Oh yeah, I went to Catholic school until I was in high school, and it was
learn something new about my co-host every time.
It was terrible. And it was not only terrible, but it was also it was terrible because it was when you imagine like you're in Catholic school the whole time and now you have to like pick out clothes and shit like that. Like it was just, yeah, it was.
Same thing happened to me up until high school. Because could you not afford the Catholic high school anymore? Because that's when the big price jump happened.
Exactly what happened. My parents got divorced.
Exactly what happens.
Yep.
And they get you used to it. They get you used to those delicious communion wafers, and all of a sudden it's 16 grand for them. It's like, what?
Yeah, no. And then I had like no friends. By the time I made it to high school, I had no friends. So yeah, I'm with you. That's why I was asking. Yeah.
I don't know why it's so hard to make friends in religious school. Wasn't Jesus friends with everybody? Isn't that kind of the thing that they're going for?
Because it's a lie.
Especially the priests, right? No, like
the priests weren't friendly with me because I'm a girl, but.
Interesting.
Well, we got our next section here of the show, which is important. It's about our current state of our mental health in the where we're at right now, and it's called "How Are You Holding Up?" We're all in this pandemic with all the different, there's pandemic, there's just take your pick of the disastrous shit going on all year. How are you holding up thus far in 2020? Stephanie, we'll start with you. How are you holding up?
Oh, I am, I mean, I'm holding up good myself, but like I was saying before, it's really a terrible time to kind of be studying what I'm studying. Like I have one book that literally has an orange sky on it, and then one for my environmental science class where it's just, it's flames. The whole entire picture of the book on the cover, whatever it is just up in flames. You can't even tell there's so much fire. So yeah, it's kind of topical. But
what are you studying? What are you studying again?
Public health.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I know, it's terrible. I don't know why I did this to myself, honestly, but like a Band-Aid. I mean, I'm good. I got my dog here she's cool, but she's, kind of an idiot. But yeah, other than that, pretty good,
Right on. Okay. Well, that's good. That's good. Good. How are you holding up? How are you holding up, Kristin?
Well, earlier this week, my son, I was trying to brag to him, and I said, when I was in high school, they voted me most likely to be CEO of a big company. And he said, look at you now, unemployed and everything.
Wow. Did you take away his game?
No, I reward that sort of stuff. He's a genius, and he's going to be a much better comedian than me, and you're all welcome. No, I'm actually studying wastewater treatment.
Oh,
Your water.
Essential service right there. Very essential.
Wow.
I'm going to rake your poop out, and I'm going to clean it up nice, and you can all shower.
So we can drink it again.
No shit.
Yeah.
Well, I thought 2020 is such a shitty year. Why not do something about it?
That, what's funny? There's so many services like that completely are taken for granted that, everybody, we just pay attention to whatever fucking jobs are on these goddamn phones and our feeds and whatever. And it's like, no, there's miles of shit that travel around us at all times. I remember I was on acid when I had that realization. I was taking a dump at, Jason was there, my buddy Jason, who's in this, Bobby Johnson's house. Jason was with me. I believe we both might have been flying. And I had the unfortunate coincidence where I had to take a dump on acid. And naturally, the trip did not go as well. I think it didn't help that we smoked brown weed too. But that's when I was sitting there and I had that epiphany of like, oh my God, there are miles of shit going on all around us. And that's what makes a society supposedly civilized, is the fact that we hide our shit from ourselves. So yeah, it was. I didn't mention it at the time, Jason. Yeah, it was definitely something I kept to myself. But I was on the inside, I was freaking the fuck out. It was. I think and that's when I also fell in love with my favorite band, the Melvins, again. Because then I put on one of my favorite albums of theirs, Lysol, which just starts with a long riff that is the perfect theme music for thinking about miles of shit that are traveling all over the place at a slow pace. And it's going on anywhere. And thank you for your future service, Kristin, when you get into that shit, because we're going to need...
Got you, guys.
Falling apart. They're going to be defunding sewers next. Watch. All right.
Oh,
How are you holding up?
Done acid? Does anybody have you guys either? Kristin, have you done acid?
Not acid, no, that's not on the list. And probably plead the fifth for anything else. So.
Yeah. I did acid, and I've done acid like 4 times, and back in the day when I was in high school. And the worst thing you can do, this is a public service. If any of you decide you want to do acid, don't look in the mirror.
Did that too before I took it down and after. It
turns
really
out,
didn't make much of a difference.
that is a terrible idea. And the other thing is, don't start walking around the pool, because you'll go in an endless loop for like 2 hours because you can't get off the loop. That was the other thing I did. Started walking around my pool and couldn't. I was like, I got to keep doing it. And
I've never heard that one.
Everybody was like, Eerie, come here. And I'm like, no, I can't. I got to keep walking around the pool. And I think it didn't help that we had one of those pool lights that like it would change colors. So it was like the pool was red, then it was blue, then it was green. I was like, this is so cool. And I just kept walking around the pool. I don't do drugs. I stopped doing drugs after I got out of high school because I was done. Okay. Anybody else?
I think how are you holding up, Eerie?
Oh, me? Oh, I'm same. I'm good.
You're good?
Yeah, I'm good.
I had a show up.
So nothing to report. Yeah. How are you? How are you holding up, Dave?
I'm good. I've been hanging. I'm up in Ukiah with my folks. I know they seem like they're in another window right now, but they're just downstairs from me. We got to do a live show. I got to do a live show on Friday, thanks to them, in Santa Rosa. I got to perform at 3 Disciples. That was fun. And then last night I got to, after your wonderful match game where I had fun, I thought I was going to have fun doing an AA show that ended up being kind of a shit show in a way. It was good for the second half for the comics that were on it, but I ended up really, I don't normally, I want disability accessibility, but I've never been so angry about ASL interpretation in my life. That's the sign language.
Yeah,
and so,
yeah.
We had to revolve a whole comedy show around the availability of one ASL interpreter when there's supposed to be 2, because they're like hockey players. They got to go in shifts of 10 minutes, and because their hands get tired and they get exhausted. And so instead we just had this one, and it was a last minute ordeal. And really and then I found out there was a deaf comedian that was watching the show, and I'm like, why didn't you just have a literal deaf comedy jam with the deaf comedian for the deaf audience, and you wouldn't have had to get the interpreter, and you could have saved all of us able-bodied, spoiled little bitches from having to do the show. So anyway, it was. I got all that out.
Comedy jam. That is.
It
amazing.
really was. It was bad, long way for a bad hacky punchline, but there we go. All right, so the next topic is the reason why I kind of brought these ladies. Oh, by the way, too, Eerie, go ahead and throw up the sign.
Oh, yes.
So we can let people know about.
I just would like to say that if any of you are having a good time, it's kind of risky to say it, but if any of you are having a good time, please go ahead and tip us at Venmo, Evelyn Eerie Diamond. Or if you're not really, don't have that, you can also PayPal us. So,
What's the PayPal one there, Eerie? Because I'm typing it.
Oh, that's going to be PayPal me at Evelyn Diamond.
.me/Evelyn Diamond. All right,
Yeah.
got it all now. All right, the begging is done. Okay.
Yay, begging. Oh no, not you begging. That's not right.
Our next question. This is the topic that kind of brought you two together on this show, is because of how I knew you. You both kind of tried comedy, right?
Right.
Right. And so why? Because you both, I've seen you post on social media. I've seen one of you perform, and the other one I hope to see you perform. What are your thoughts again? Like, what kind of like, I don't know, what brought you interest, but to the degree where you don't want to keep doing it? I guess we'll start with you, Kristin.
No, nose goes. I called it. She's got to go first.
Oh, you got to go. Oh, nice.
Yeah,
I like that.
Oh
Stephanie.
man, I see, you are funny. Okay. Okay, so it's not so much that I don't want to do it. I will say the obviously boring answers, school is getting in the way, but and no gatherings or anything. But to me it is sort of difficult because I don't really like recycling my material. I like to always have new stuff. I like to write something new every single time that I go up. And for me it's kind of mainly about being a writer and being, I guess, I mean, I know that I kind of like used to solve this by getting blackout drunk, but not getting that stage fright.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not sure if that goes away for you. Does that go away for you? I mean, Dave, do you ever get nervous before you come up and talk to people like this, or?
I get more nervous if I have to speak honestly to a group of people in recovery, because then I'm the one who just couldn't handle my alcohol, weed, cocaine, and acid in front of heroin and meth addicts. And so then I'm, yeah, like I didn't do enough prison time to warrant being an addict or some bullshit like that. When it comes to, I get nervous in a sense, mainly if I, just cause I don't want to be the one guy who bombs in front of the other comics. Cause then I just don't want to have to deal with shit talking afterwards. Luckily, I usually am not the worst comic on most lineups. So long as I'm not the worst comic on a lineup, that's good for me. And because it even is weird if I do well. If I'm the best comic on a lineup, I also don't like it that much too, because then everybody's weird. I don't know. Like I had a good set on Friday. I was hanging out with my parents on Friday at their table. I was ripping on all the comics to my parents the entire time, because it's a lineup. They were all good comics, but they're all kind of like, I want to say like they're all punchline people that were passed like years ago, and they're really not meeting their potential. They're all bums. They're all bums. There's one who's not a bum, but she's hanging out with bums, and that's when I was just like, and she was the only good one. See, my stepdad was nodding because she's the only one that we really saw have promise. But when you kick it with bums, you're gonna turn into a bum, and I already was a bum, so I had years of failure in music. So when I got into comedy, it was really just to try and not have a full-time lazy, like, I didn't want to work food service forever. And that was kind of the goal, was just to eke out a minimum wage job. So
I would love to like do MST 3000 with comedy shows. That would be what it would be like to sit next to you at a comedy show. Cause like,
No, it's who's fun. I like watching watching comics next to. There was this guy, we know him in the Bay Area, Jeff Applebaum, and he's an older comic. And the thing is, he's so positive. He sounds so full of shit, and I think he is too. So when I sit next to him, I crack up when I'm watching somebody who is clearly bombing, and I'll hear him go, "Oh, this is great." And I'm like, oh God, I don't want to. I don't have the
apple bombing.
Yeah, exactly. It's
wow.
Him and Larry Bubbles Brown. That's another one, another guy I love standing next to when they're watching a comedy set. So, but no, that makes total sense, because if you add Stephanie on Facebook or follow her on Twitter, she posts very funny stuff. You also, what do you do creatively? You're part of something that you told me about. That was like,
oh yeah, well, I have a writing project going right now. I am currently writing or putting together kind of like a web series or something like that, writing it about nighttime dentists called Emergency Dental.
That's what it was, Emergency Dental.
Yeah, because I just thought it would be hilarious because, dentists are a bunch of psychopaths. And, one of my friends got a really terrible tooth injury. She always rides her bike everywhere. And at night, she just flew over her bike, busted her teeth in. People were running up like, oh, it doesn't look good. She's like, yeah, it doesn't feel good. And, I was just thinking, when she told me that, I was just like, is there like an emergency nighttime dentist that they could go to? And what would that even be like in there?
That's right. Yeah.
I love it.
She also runs a fun group called Cats Who Need Braces, where she posts pictures of cats that look like they need braces.
Yeah, my pet project right now is actually Egg Eat Live page. It's a page where I go live and throw eggs at things, but I've accumulated like 4,000 followers in New Zealand.
Nice. That's
which
good.
is like this is just a small win.
They have no coronavirus there right now. I think they yeah, or I think they eked it out. I don't know. Who knows? I haven't kept up with the numbers.
No, New Zealand's good.
All right, we've got some additions here with some strange things here. So keep an eye out on. I'll be monitoring these.
Yeah.
So, Kristin, what the fuck is up with you? How you kind of talk to us about your kind of your path around comedy per se.
So I've always been a jackass my whole life. Pretty talented one, really good at pissing teachers off, especially third grade. I had a teacher throw a desk at me. It was beautiful, man. I've got some talent when it comes to pissing people off. I was able to channel that though into humor. So I turned being really friggin' annoying into humor. When I was down south, I had a friend who had a club and he started doing a stand-up show, like hosting a show. And he had these people coming in and he's like, you have to do it. Just do 5 minutes, do 10 minutes, just do it, please. And he bugged me for like 2 months. So I was like, it's like nobody wants to listen to me, you know? So I was like, whatever. And I did it. And then people laughed and I was like, oh, okay, maybe. And then like the next day I was like, no, you're not funny. You suck at everything. Go, I don't know, go sit in the corner, because that's how my brain works. And then people bugged me, friends, family, everybody, for a year. They're like, why don't you do more stand-up? I don't understand. And then I'd finally get enough self-esteem and I'd be like, all right, let me take a crack at it. And then I would, and it would go well. And then I'd be like, oh, I don't deserve happiness. Go back to your corner. So that's kind of like my yearly thing. So it was like a comedy cicada of punishment and self-loathing.
Yeah.
But now you're all here with me in the cesspool of 2020. So now I'm confident to go out and do comedy because everybody gets anxiety and depression now.
Yeah.
It's normal. You guys get it.
Yeah.
It's even more in the aspiring comedy scene. I mean, it goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
Like I always say, you'll have fun with comedy if you can have fun not having any fun.
Yes, absolutely. The times that I was super confident before I went on stage, fucking bombed. It was terrible. But the times that I was terrified and I was like, oh my God, this is gonna be so embarrassing for the audience, for me, and for all my comedy friends that are here, were the times that I did well. And so, but I had a lot of false starts, and that's one thing. It's like, you know, you go up and you have a great, and you're like, fucking, I'm gonna get an agent, I'm a badass, and then you go up and you bomb, and you're like, actually, I should probably quit. Actually, what I should do. I should stop doing this to myself. And then I would wait like a month, and then I would go do it again, and then I'd have a great time, and I'd be like, woo! And then I would fucking bomb, and then I'd be like, just fuck it, I'm not doing this anymore. And that happened for like 8 months. The first 8 months I tried comedy, I did comedy 5 times, and 3 times I had a great set, and I was like, woo! I totally get it, I came. And then the other 2 times I was like, this sucks. Whoever would do this is stupid. I'm not funny. I'm not gonna do this anymore. And then yeah. So there you go. And you just keep doing it, and then the bombing doesn't hurt so much, right, Dave? But you never bomb, so.
No, yeah. I do bomb, and I miss it. I enjoy it when I embrace it. Last night I felt like I was bombing, even though I wasn't, but it was because I knew I was hosting this fucking show at the worst point when I wanted to go first, specifically to try and hit them when the iron was hot for tips. And then in the end, I fucked myself because I'm hosting and everybody's just showing up during my set. And later in the lineup would have been better if I wanted to do well and all that shit. But at that point, I was just being of service. That's how I saw it as. But no, the thing being though is what kept me going was more or less like, because I actually preferred to play in bands, but all my cool bands kept breaking up. I had a drug addiction problem, all that shit. And I got into comedy and I stuck with it mainly because I resented the fact that I saw hacks get paid to do this. And that's when I see hacks getting paid, and I'm friends with some of them too now. Like I don't One of the ones my parents can't stand the most was one of the nicest to me and took me like being a feature set. My stepdad wants to say who, but yeah, my mom.
Mark, do it, man. Just do it.
No, you don't need, we've said it before. We've said it. Nobody here knows who the fuck he is anyway. But the point being though is it was resentment that kept me doing it. But then what I had to learn was the same thing in recovery, is that you can't make people laugh if you have a shitty attitude. So I had to learn. Yes, it was Phil. It was Phil.
John DeCoven.
You know, John DeCoven wasn't a comedian. That was a producer, and
yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, they got a laundry list anyway. So yeah, I made them laugh on Friday because I said the reason why they they laughed at a couple of my jokes, but one of the ones I didn't know how they would take was the reason why they enjoy me visiting in Ukiah is because they need a break from all of the hot retirement sex they've been having, and this is the only way that they're like it when Dave's around. It's like just a completely unsexy time, and not only that, Mark can eat carbs when I'm here, so he's allowed to eat carbs. All right, moving on. So the next question we got, this is a topical question based on, I think you know her, you love her, you miss her already. On a scale of 1 to Ruth Bader Ginsburg, how RBG are you?
Oh, I'm very RBG. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't have said that out loud.
That's you too. Hey, you're RBG too.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I'm learning more and more about her. You know, I hate learning.
Oh my God, she's a badass.
I keep learning about people after they're dead. So I don't.
After I'm dead, Dave, you're gonna love me. No, you know what? She was a fucking badass. She's been a badass her whole life, and she's been right. Thank you, Mark. And she's been fighting for the rights of women her whole fucking life, and no matter what she has to do it, she's been doing it, and she never missed a day of work. Did you guys know that? Never. Her husband died, and she went to work the next day. She's like, fuck it. You know what I mean? Like, this is a truly badass woman. Like, that's all I have to say. I'm down. I'm a big fan.
That's the thing. I still got more to learn. As Melanie just said, that there's a great documentary out there. I'm sure there is. I got to find it now. Now I got to look that shit up and hope it's on one of the many streaming services.
If you go to
that we're subscribed to.
In front of your face, it's like, God damn it, you need to learn about her.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm somebody. Well, here's the thing: is I'm not. I always feel also it's like I'm pro-choice, and I've let women run all over me all my life. So I feel like in a way I already know Ruth Bader Ginsburg. I do my part. So Kristin, how about you?
I'm down with RBG. Okay. Yeah, you know me.
Yeah, you know me. I love that.
Down with RBG. No, really, I mean, I've had a credit card in my name. I've had credit history in my own name. I've rented an apartment in my own name. These are things I couldn't have done if it wasn't for her. So when you just think about the simple little things about me being an actual fruitful human being, like regardless of genitalia, like that's my RBG. That's why I love her.
Oh yeah. Chad, I want to thank Chad. He just reminded me that's where I do remember seeing it's a documentary called RBG on Netflix. That's where it's at.
Netflix? Somebody was yelling at me on the streaming. They were like, "Watch this!" And I was like,
"Yeah." So I'm gonna have to check that one out and add that to the queue. Stephanie, on a scale of 1 to RBG, how are you?
On a scale of 1 to RBG, well, I'm gonna go with the full RBG. Especially my mom. She had a very visceral reaction to this, and she was alive when all the Kennedy stuff happened, all the assassinations, MLK, and she's always like, you will never forget where you are growing up. You'll never forget that moment. And when I got the call from her, I was in the condom aisle of Target. Ironically enough, about to lose some of those reproductive rights probably, but I did immediately stock up on Astroglide because, if Planned Parenthood is closed and, so is this pussy, unfortunately. But, her passing was honestly one of the saddest parts of this year. And it's like, you know, a lot of like what Kristin was saying, you know, like as a woman, you don't just really get over these things quick, because it's been kind of like, you know, it's just been like it's been a lifetime of just kind of being like, oh, okay, less than. But, you know, I'm kind of optimistic about the future, hopefully.
I am too. I am too. There was a Twitter account that I saw of somebody who basically was one of he had like hundreds of thousands of followers or whatever, but yeah, their name was like former Trump supporter, now Biden, you know, voting for Biden or whatever, and he had a tweet that I thought that actually gave me the sliverest of hope. This is the tiniest sliver. Sliverest is not a word, by the way. And it was the fact that he basically was tweeting like, as somebody who's been an avid Trump supporter up until recently, do I have a right to mourn Ruth Bader Ginsburg? And in the sense, and he was saying that not in the sense that, oh, I know I can say what I want. He was contemplating. This dude went from going to be from doing the whole, you know, just looking for any excuse to just go after each other. This dude turned introspective and had an introspective tweet that had other tweets about, and basically was just contemplating about, and it was about accountability for their behavior. That's what it was. And I was like, holy shit, that gave me just this tiniest bit of hope, just because of the fact that here was somebody based on, you know, kind of, you know, finally seeing the bullshit for what it really is, like somebody who used to think wrestling was real and then realized, oh my God, they know who's going to win. Yeah. Like they know who's like, and it dawns on them. And then now their world's completely turned upside down.
That was a plate of shrimp right there, Kristin, by the way. Oh,
plate of shrimp. Damn right. Repo Man reference. So.
That's great. I wish my parents would have that epiphany.
They're not. They're your parents are still rooting for the Trumpster.
I have so many parents, and they're all rooting for Trump.
Yeah.
All of them, every single one of them.
Trumpomania.
I have a ton of
wild.
parents. I have so many parents. You have no idea. And
I think I found your parents. I think I know where they're at. They are right where the hell I got them right here.
I think there's only one on here.
Here they are. They're your parents, right there.
Oh, yeah. It's sad, but I love them anyway, and it's fine. It's fine, and
that's the kind of thoughtfulness we can't, you know.
I love them anyway, and I don't delete them, and I just do things like I don't know if you guys do this. You do things like you just tell people they're bad Republicans because they believe in abortion, and some of the people are on, you know, like Social Security, and that's actually not very Republican of you fuckers. Like, sorry.
They like abuse. They like being shamed.
Oh, it's
like
great.
They eat that shit. You bad Republican. Yeah, I am a bad Republican.
And they don't care about it. That's the weirdest part. I just now have to find little niche things.
That's the thing.
Emotional bondage.
You don't even see it. It's like you're giving them a plate of like, do you understand you are completely the opposite of what you're saying you are? And then they're like, nah, let's not talk about this anymore. And I'm like, I'm just giving you facts, bitch. Like, you know what I mean?
Are they like about to leave the Republican Party in favor of Trump? Like,
nope. They're madly in love with Trump. You know what's? I'm not gonna get on a soapbox unless you.
Hey guys.
I'm actually reading the fucking John Bolton book right now, and do you know how hard it is to read that book, because his ideas are so fucking like, fuck everybody, we don't even care, like fuck the poor, we don't need them, fuck everybody else, we don't need other countries, we're not your friends. And like, however, even he is like, what the hell is wrong with this person? Like when he's talking about Trump, he's like, whoa, what is wrong with you, dude? Like even that guy, I hate that guy, but even he is like, this guy's an asshole and an idiot. Like, you know what I mean?
An asshole calling another, it's pot kettle, right? Yeah.
This is an asshole, but at least he's like an educated asshole. He's somebody who knows what's going on. He's somebody that's intelligent. However, his ideas are not mine. That's fine. But even he's like, the hell is wrong with this person? Like, that's bad. That should tell you something. You know what I mean?
Asshole with a side of asshole. That's what my stepdad.
Dude.
So yeah.
The enemy of my enemy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I hear
Yeah,
you.
your least
I hear
favorite
you.
person's least favorite person.
yes.
But then again, isn't he a guy that got fired? Isn't he just a guy that got fired? That.
Oh
like,
yeah, I'm sure. No, are you kidding me right now? Do you
Who
know
is
how many administrations he's worked for? Like, come on.
Is he a
Like,
senator or something?
He's
John
not
Bolton?
an idiot. Like, this is no, he's not anything right now. But I'm just saying, like, this is not an idiot person. Like, this is, and even he was like, "Whoa, what the hell?" Like, it's just it's a hard book to read. But I'm just saying, I'm reading it because I want to be informed of what is really going on. Like, even if this asshole thinks that's an asshole, I need to know the truth. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to. I like to really load my gun when I go visit my parents. You know what I'm saying? So I can really load that gun and be like, really, even really.
Literally? Are you talking about you're gonna?
No,
go,
I don't want to. No, I'm not gonna. No, I never.
I think we just heard a statement that everybody, she is kidding. All right, she is not going to go shoot her parents.
I've
Fired
a Nerf gun. I've never even.
Shit might happen. Who knows? I mean, everything. It's crazy times right now.
All right. Well, no.
All right. Next topic, a little more upbeat of a topic to get on here.
I'm sorry.
And that is, let me see. I know I got my background here. Where the fuck did it go? Hang on a second. I know it's around here. Testing. Where did you go, background? I hope she went. Pretty sure I got her here. Let me see.
Oh, while you're doing that, I would like to say thank you to Laura. Thank you so much for tipping us. And thank you, Janine, for tipping us. I really appreciate the money. We do.
Thank you very much.
That's how you support artists during the apocalypse. And I really, really thank you so much, you guys. I really appreciate it.
This is our next topic right here, and that is: do we really want to save any children? Really? This is. I mean, and that's not really the topic of. I mean, I'm not trying to question all that. Yes, Kristin.
Hey, let's not.
And that's spoken like a true parent. That's a parent right there.
Yeah.
Point being, we know what's been going around. I saw a tweet that actually was my friend comedian Matt Lieb. He had a really good tweet about this. He said pedophiles are now watching Cuties and disappointed that it's just a boring French film or going back to watching Disney and Nickelodeon. Anything, literally anything on there. And so the point being is that everybody's going and attacking those this movie that basically is just a movie that is dealing with the subject that everybody is ironically like upset about, not knowingly ironically. They're going after a movie without even seeing it, not knowing and realizing that the movie itself is talking. Yes, I did see your. Did I read many canceling? Some might be trying to cancel. I saw somebody who saw the movie, thought that it was complete, like thought that it still was inappropriate, but they still weren't canceling Netflix, but they were talking shit on the movie. I don't know. I'm just saying, you ladies, you grew up in America. What are your thoughts on this? All of a sudden, this horseshit obsession. I'm obviously not giving it a objectionable.
I'm going to say one thing, and then we're going to pass it on to our guests. I'm going to say one thing. I'm sorry. It's the truth. It's can you not show what's really happening in the world without being triggered? Like I would like, I would love
an ad. It was over an ad.
I would love there to be a movie where, about me working at Nordstrom's and having to go through the shoe department, having all those dickheads like fucking gawk at me and do inappropriate and try to do inappropriate things in the back room. You know what I mean? Like that, and I triggered, wrong. That's wrong. It's like, no, this is really happening, you guys. Like, this is the truth. All right. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kristin. What do you think? You have a kid.
This is, so it's tangential, but I think it's important because I've actually held back from saying anything for a long time when the Me Too movement came out.
Mm-hmm.
They named it Pound Me Too.
As the hashtag?
Yes, that's a classic joke.
Guys, We gotta laugh and then we can heal. Okay, now that we're laughing, I have been sexually harassed many times, and I have been physically attacked at work, like aggressively, like, why won't you love me, mate with me? And I'm like, obviously, like, you're not top choice if you gotta force it, right? But I'm just saying, you know, our entire life, I mean, you don't have to be pretty. You don't have to be, just the fact that you're like a woman at work. That's it. That's all you gotta do. Show up, and they're like, I'm gonna attack you with words or bodies. I don't know. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I was really happy when I had a son, because I was like, oh, cool. Not only does that reduce so many fears for me, but I can, like, teach him what it's like to be a woman. Like, I tell him about periods and how they work. I want him to know, you need to be nice. This happens again and again.
The fear of God in him early. That's right.
I didn't want this. This is not my fault. You know, I don't get an option to say, no baby, please. Like, I'll just shut off the ovulation today. It's jacked up, man.
You didn't get that option?
No. Is it because I didn't go to a Catholic school? God damn it.
I think so.
I forgot the movie 13. That's a very good.
Yeah, thank you, iPad.
Yeah, thank you.
And kids, movie Kids, too.
Ideas very young, and people just want to pretend kids are so ignorant. Oh, absolutely, dude. I mean, well, you know what? Stephanie, what are your thoughts on this?
So on Cuties, well, the movie is by a French Senegalese woman about her own experiences, and Netflix kind of just advertised it as pedo bait. They had the movie poster, which was so different and edited from the actual one.
They picked the wrong time to start with that opening poster.
And they basically they kind of ruined this woman's career. Like it's brought, like, the movie had brought other people to tears at film festivals, so I've heard. So I went back and forth. At first I was like, Netflix, this is disgusting. It's just the world that we live in, you know, hypersexualization of anything they can. And then I was like, oh no, this is actually like someone's real experience. And then I didn't watch the movie, but I heard from people who did. They're like, so we watched it, and like, it's a little much, you know, like it's a little groomy and it's a little this, but it teeters on that line. This is really what happens in the world. If you're uncomfortable watching these girls being sexualized, then you need to think that this is happening in every single household in your neighborhood.
It's supposed to be uncomfortable, from what I understand. I mean, it's like,
yeah, it is. It's because it's uncomfortable when it happens to you. So
there's a scene. I was just watching a bit of the movie Mean Girls today, which is a comedy. And there's a scene that it essentially addresses this kind of the same tone of this in one comedic scene, and it's when Lindsay Lohan with the cool girl, the Mean Girls, goes over Rachel McAdams' house, and her mom is played by Amy Poehler, and she comes walking in. She's trying to be the cool mom who's down with the kids, and the youngest daughter is dancing in front of the TV to Milkshake, to the song Milkshake, and she's doing the dance imitating the TV, and that scene is completely satirizing this, and that movie's from fucking years ago, from years, like over 10 years ago, and I mean, Lindsay Lohan's had like 3 lifetimes of fucking, you know, arrests and whatnot since then, and so that's why I'm like this. As much as Netflix fucked up, the thing about it too is the fact that you've got all of these morons who probably have kids they're ignoring in their own home, because it ain't anybody, it ain't some elite fucking cabal of pedophiles that their kids are in danger of. It's their Uncle Phil and their you know, the fucking next door neighbor who they invite over to watch them, and they never realize that their kid has this fucking awkward silence whenever they're over, because it's the people in your fucking world that are abusing your children, not some elite cabal. The elite cabal are interested in foreign children. That's why they got them down in ice, in cages and shit. That's how they're doing this. They're doing all the trafficking. So, and these are jokes, by the way, people. So I'm just fucking around.
You're trying to get canceled.
But I'm not fucking around about, no, the fact is abuse, statistically, the abuse is all within your own world. And
also, can we talk about the fact that, like, I don't know, you guys look young, but like, I'm old, and like, what about like Little Darlings and like fucking, you know what I mean? Like there's it's been forever, you know.
That's a strip club. You're talking about the strip club Little Darlings or what? No.
No, my God, from the 80s where it was.
Oh, no, I don't
Why
even...
did they name that strip club after Little Darlings?
Well, because it was about two 16-year-old girls who are trying to get laid, and the contest is who's going to get laid first, and that's as if it's hard to get laid as a 16-year-old girl. That is not
Yeah,
hard.
right. That's like the easiest thing to do.
Pretty much, yeah. And but it's I'm just saying, like it there's been things forever, and the sad thing about it is this particular thing was not about, it wasn't about exploiting little girls. It was about showing how, isn't this terrible that this is the world we live in? Like, that's a totally different thing. I don't know.
People kind of seem to be missing the point of a lot of this stuff, which is, because the thing about it is,
yes, Jodie Foster's a prostitute. Hello.
Exactly.
Didn't Brooke Shields pose for Playboy when she was 10?
Yeah. Well, she did a nude scene when she was a teenager in one of the movies. I don't know the movie.
What's the name of that movie?
But there was also
Blue Island. I saw it when it came out.
Blue Lagoon too.
Blue Lagoon. Yes.
Yeah.
They were in
I don't know
it
if she's
the whole
naked
time, and they were like 13. And
the thing too is, I think the what's, again, another one of these unintentional ironies is we're the culture
background.
We're the culture that's completely sexualized the youth, and then it's now come back to us through European art films and yada yada, and then we're the ones that are what I basically feel like our country sounds like with all this is the guy at the bar who's drunk and who's incredibly homophobic and calling everybody gay. Yeah. Who is in fact gay himself.
Yes, that's a good point.
That's kind of what it sounds like. Because, and I mean, we've had an organization that they don't traffic kids, they traffic pedophiles, and that's the Catholic Church, which you went to school with, both, two of you ladies. Because that's what they came up with, a different system. You don't have to move the kids, you can just move the perpetrators and play musical chairs with these fucking gross people.
Oh no, they're playing musical priests. That's like terrible.
Musical priests. Thank you. That's exactly exactly. So
musical priests. I like that. That's.
But it's also, and then
you're the only one who likes that.
No, that would be a great name for like a musical, like musical priests, and it's just never mind.
All right, and the Boy Scouts. Yes. So I think we've bummed ourselves out suitably before the end of our show.
Let's move on.
Good, we're all adults here. And then the last thing.
It's a good talk, though, guys. Let's all clap because we all had a good talk.
We had a good conversation about it. Yeah, nobody got mad at each other and all that shit. The last topic is something that I think nobody else cares about but me, and that is, am I the only one who cares about a new Napalm Death album? Yes, I am. No. New Napalm Death dropped on Friday. I am looking forward to listening to it. I'm not sure if anybody else, maybe Jason, he might get curious to check it out because he likes to listen to all types of variety of extreme music, but I think I'm probably the only person who really cares. Jason is interested. And I'm probably the only, me and Jason will be the only people. It sounds pretty good, Jason, just so you know, just give you a heads up. The vocals are crisp, like, roar, he's good at that shit. And so I just want to let everybody know. So any last words, Kristin, Stephanie? You're not going to die now, but I mean, just let, any
last words. I was like, where are you? Are you in the
words? Yes. No, just give us your take. What is your take? What's your take on life right now?
Take on life. Take on life is great. Me and Dave did ask some great questions about getting into comedy again, since it has been a hiatus, writing more and everything. And I think I'll take that with me. And I really appreciate you guys. The little nudge, the encouragement, and what you guys do a lot.
Yeah. And thanks for being here, both you and Kristin. Again, fun chats. Always cool people to chat with, and in the few times we've been in person. Kristin, I look forward to meeting you in person and all that, but always have good chats. What's your any final thoughts there from you, Kristin?
One, Clinton, nothing personal. Real mad that you didn't share your food. Not cool. Not cool, bro.
I don't know if he heard you. I don't think it's
now I'm real mad. Damn you, Clinton. But no, I think this was a really fun night, and I wasn't sure what to expect. I really had a good time. It was nice meeting you guys. And I think my happy moment for the way out, we talked about kids and the state of the world and why even save the kids. And just to leave you on a little bit of hope, I was watching Mortal Kombat with my son, who again, he's 7. And I was like, dude, who's hotter, Katana or Sonya Blade? And he was like, they're not being judged by that. It's whoever's the better fighter. And it's Princess Katana.
Get your objectification of women out of my face, Mom.
I love it.
All right, then. Fine.
He's the future. He's the
I'm
future.
I'm the womanizer. Okay.
He's the future, man. I'm excited. This is good. This is good. Dave, any last thoughts, Dave?
I'm going to try and get this new Napalm Death. I'm debating whether I don't know if I want to order it on CD because there's only 12 tracks. And if I get it digitally, there's 15 tracks and it costs less. But I like having I still have the old addict impulse of wanting a tangible CD. So I'm going to have to fight that and just probably get the digital download. Also, it's also better for the earth.
Is it vinyl?
I don't get vinyl. I don't have I have vinyl, but I don't buy things. It's way overpriced. It's overrated. Or it's just a thing right now. It's good for me to sell vinyl.
The thing right now?
It is.
An 8-track.
Yeah, it's not on 8-track. That's funny. I hope you guys are getting relaxed.
Right now.
I'm sorry.
You know.
Can you
It's
just
all right.
Quality's fine, and air quality's fine, Melanie. It's good. It's breathable.
All right.
It's not good.
I'd just like to say thank you guys all for tuning in. We really appreciate it. And you guys are always awesome, and it's great to spend our Sunday evenings with you.
Kristen, were you trying to say something again? You look like you have something to
I'm
say
sorry,
with your
Kristen,
fingers
would you
up.
like
What is this?
It's really important, you guys. Lean in. Closer.
Leaning in.
Imagine, if you will, a future where we play thrash metal on vinyl.
We're in that future. We are. That's
I had Whitechapel on vinyl for a while.
It's all around you. It's
I'm
here.
so down.
Yeah.
It's here.
Do it. I'm down.
It's
I
here.
love it. I love it. All right. Well,
The future is
guys,
now.
I would just like to thank everybody for being on the show. Thank you so much to Kristin. Thank you so much, Kristin. You are awesome. I appreciate it. Stephanie, you're awesome. Thank you. We'll be looking out for your projects. Me and Dave, my co-host, thank you so much. You're awesome. And I am Eerie Diamond. Thanks, guys. Please join us next week, 6 o'clock. We'll hang out. What else you got to do, right? That's what I'm saying. Bye, guys. Thanks. Bye.